On a bass lake, it's all about the timing.
39 pounds, 6 ounces.
And on this one, the timing is near perfect.
Preston Clark moves to the top of the food chain with that. Ladies and gentlemen, check this out. Trying to make a run in the record books right here. 108 pounds and 4 ounces.
The big fish are there.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I look forward to today, and today's going to be one for the record books, I think.
The conditions are right. This will be the most massive assault on the record book since Lake Toho in 2001.
Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah! Woo-hoo-hoo!
Get ready to see history made at the Santee Cooper Showdown.
The Citgo Bassmaster Elite Series, Santee Cooper Showdown, is presented by Motor Guide.
Glad you're with us here. It's the Citgo Bassmaster Tournament Trail, and this is the Bassmaster Elite Series. There's the playing field, the Santee Cooper Lakes, Lake Marion and Lake Moultrie. We have had an incredible series so far. Incredible because of the numbers of big bass that have been brought to these weigh-ins here, but obviously we are onto something different, something very, very special this special week at Santee Cooper in South Carolina. Especially a good week for that man right there from Palatka, Florida, Preston Clark. Preston Clark, who started off day one with 39 pounds and 6 ounces of fish. That's 1 5-fish limit there. 92 pounds and 10 ounces for 3 days of fishing as we go into this final day, Mark.
Tommy, I thought when we left Texas, you know what? The record is going to be safe until next year. Here's the best way to describe what is going on in this event. It is like a Motley Crue concert meets a home run derby, man. It is madness on the lake right now.
What he is saying is everything has come together.
Yes.
The temperatures, the bass are in position, everything has happened. It was held off by cold temperatures until the last moment, and now we've got this wave, this flood.
And usually when the first wave of bass comes in shallow, it's the biggest bass that live in that lake. We hit this one right on the money.
All right, 100 of the best anglers in the world have fished for 3 days. We are down to 12 anglers now, our elite 12. As we look at the leaderboard, we see not the name of Kevin Van Dam.
Yes.
Kevin Van Dam was disqualified during the practice period for this event because of an infraction involving his co-angler.
Yes, definitely. And not only that, Alton Jones on the first day of the event, he also, after the weigh-in, he was disqualified for the same infraction. It's tough not seeing those guys in this event.
Alton Jones, who caught 35 pounds plus a fish, his biggest day ever, and it's disqualified.
And that would kill somebody if he was on their fantasy team.
Oh,
Tommy.
wouldn't it ever?
Exactly.
Man, we'd hate for that to happen to anybody. Let's take a look at the leaderboard right now. Preston Clark, look at that, still incredible to think. 92 pounds after only 3 days of fishing, and he's ahead by 9 pounds. Skeet, Reese, Steve Kennedy, Kevin Wirth, but these guys are all in it. Anywhere else, 9-pound lead is insurmountable here. That's just elite.
Exactly right, Tommy. One of the biggest things to me right now is it took almost a 5-pound average to get to the Elite 12. Usually, if you have that kind of weight, you win the event.
Well, there's the playing field right there. Total of 177,000 acres between these two giant lakes, 600 miles of shoreline, all kinds of great places to find these big bass to catch for them while they're spawning. Out to the lake, we're ready for the start of the day, and the man defending his record is Dean Rojas with Jerry McInnes.
Guys, you know what? Hank Aaron and Dean Rojas have a lot in common. Both of them are clinging to a very valuable record. I couldn't get Hank Aaron here this morning. By golly, I got Dean Rojas. Dean, you're looking pretty good spirits considering what's going on today.
Well, I'm happy to be here in the finals and to defend my world record catch. The possibility of it going down today is very good. But I'm doing everything I can, Jerry. I made the top 12, and I'm still here slugging it out. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I look forward to today, and today's going to be one for the record books, I think.
Hey, you know, 2 out of the last 3 events that record has had an assault put on it. Both times simply because you're having such a fantastic season. Both times you made the final cut and were there to, I don't know, can you say you're defending it?
I'm trying to, Jerry. I'm doing everything I can to try and catch as many bass as I can to try and defend this record. You know, I keep telling everybody I'm not going down without a fight. So it's something that I treasure really close to my heart. But I understand what Preston's going through right now. There's a lot of excitement, a lot of emotion on his side, and just the significance of breaking the record. I know what it can do to someone's career.
Okay, Dean. And I tell you what, guys, we got to remember there are 5 guys, including Dean, that have a shot at overtaking that record.
Boy, Dean's going to defend it as hard as he can, but he has got a long way to go to catch Preston Clark. Check it out. There's Preston with his daughter. He and wife Katrina are expecting in the fall triplets.
Oh.
This guy could use $100,000, I'd say.
Tommy, I don't know what's more scary, fishing against the best anglers on earth or having a set of triplets. Trust me.
That's a toss-up right there. Preston Clark, let's take a look at where he's fishing out here on the lake.
Tommy, he was only going about 15 minutes from the launch site, fishing down in Utah Creek, basically an area he has had to himself the entire event. Now, one of the deals, where he's fishing, it's a very shallow water bay, a lot of lily pads, but the key in there's also sand, hard bottom. That's what you're looking for to find the giants.
You have 8 hours of fishing, and again, a 5-fish limit. The best 4-day wait at the end wins the tournament.
Me personally, I've always wondered how I measured up against the best in the world. And a win would be great for me. That's my personal goal. The record, I think if I do what I need to do to win, then the record is going to fall. Just not by a little bit, by a bunch. It's the bug. Dog it.
Just as in our first 2 tournaments this year, the spawn is on. These guys are going around these areas of water looking for bedding bass. They'll back off, try to catch them.
Exactly, Tommy, but one thing I want you to keep your eye on today, no pun intended, is how far away these guys are from the nests. They're literally 30 to 40 yards away.
There she is. Come on, girl. Come out of there. Come out of there. Stay on. Stay on. Stay on. Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, I think this is okay. I think this is okay, though. Thank you. Thank you, Lord. That fish there goes, I'm going to call her 6. All right, I want everybody to see this right here. She's hooked right here. But here's where the hook goes. Right on the inside of the mouth. Right there. It just, the hook actually came through when she was going through them weeds. It got hooked on something and come back through. But she was hooked on the inside of the mouth. She's a legal fish. She's fine. All right. I'm going to say she's 6, and I'm going to say I'm 10 pounds away. Shaking her.
The all-time record for 4 days of fishing, 108 pounds, 12 ounces, owned by Dean Rojas, and Preston Clark, like he said, is 10 pounds away from it. When will that record fall? And when we come back, Jerry McInnes has got our bass spotter gear out. He spotted one of these moving fish on Santee Cooper. We'll check in with him when we return.
The Citgo Bassmaster Elite Series, Santee Cooper Showdown, is presented by Motor Guide and is brought to you by Citgo, Motor Guide, Bush, and Purelator.
The Citgo Bassmaster Elite Series. This is our 3rd stop of the year. The Santee Cooper Showdown presented by Motor Guide. And man, this is one you don't want to miss. The record for 4 days of fishing is under assault. Preston Clark of Palatka, Florida is 10 pounds away from that record. When will he break it? And Preston has said, unbelievably, he's more interested in winning this tournament than breaking that prestigious record.
I know Preston has said that, but I don't quite believe him. He knows if he breaks this record, he will become the Babe Ruth of professional bass fishing, Sanders.
All right, well, Preston Clark has had a phenomenal week, and now we're going to get the in-depth look at how he's been doing it.
We're having fun today. We're going to whack them. Oop. Talking when I should have been fishing. She touched it. She wants to play.
Preston has only fished for a half hour, and he is 1.5 pounds away from 100 pounds for the week.
Still 7 hours to fish left in this day. We can't forget then that 45 plus, that single day record by Dean Rojas, may be under assault today if things continue like that. And if things continue like this, we could have a half a dozen guys hit that 100-pound mark.
The most incredible thing right now, he is working on a 6-pound average. I've never seen that before.
We're going to call that one a 3-pounder. That puts us at 7. 7 more. 7 more for the record. All right.
A huge shot by Preston Clark, but let's jump over to a guy in 10th place right now, Martens, and we're going to get into exactly how he's finding these bass. Sanders, it's more like hunting than it is fishing. These guys are going to take a huge push pole. There's nothing wrong with their trolling motor, but they sneak up on giant bass just so they don't spook them off of the beds. When they locate one, they just plant right where they're at.
One guy used a push pole at the Classic. That guy was Preston Clark, and now everybody in this elite field has got a push pole. Does that surprise you?
Now it's kind of like a fad to have one in your boat. It's almost like being cool. But seriously, you're able to stalk these bass. And I'm going to say it again. It's just like hunting.
He's being bad. Naughty fish. We'll try that at home. We're grabbing braid. They're especially 30 pounds. It's a nice one. It's not as big as I thought. They're deceiving sometimes. See where it's hooked even though I didn't see it? Yeah, that's more like it. Yeah, I'm not gonna get too happy yet. That's 5 of those isn't gonna move me up very far with these guys.
And right off the bat, in 10th place, Aaron Martens fires one at Preston Clark, moves all the way up into 4th place. And you know what? Every tournament of the year so far, somebody from the bottom of the pack has snuck up on the leader. I don't think Aaron got the email that he was supposed to be out of it.
He didn't check it this morning. Obviously, he moves up into 4th place, and if Aaron catches fire, hey, he's going to put on a show. There's nobody like Aaron Martens. Nobody else quite like Jerry McInnes. He's got our bass spotter equipment out, ready to go. We've tagged a fish again, and Jerry has been following this fish all over the place. Jerry, it seems like this fish is everywhere.
Yeah, guys, I have been all over this lake. Man, oh man, I'm in the upper lake right now, Marion, actually in Jack's Creek to be specific, and we are tracking 2 fish up here, Santee and Cooper. Santee's living a dull life, and so we're not going to pay any attention to her. Cooper is the one we want to watch out for. Caught her just below the old hatchery. She immediately went out in the middle of the lake, a half a mile from where we caught her. Made a turn to the east and went another half a mile over into some cypress trees and some woods. You know, we always talk about fish traveling along tree lines and grass lines and edges. Cooper could care less. She goes right out in the middle of the lake, and I don't know exactly why. The water is still a little chilly when she was doing this. Not real chilly, you know, 56, 57 degrees. She made a real run from that point now, through some timber, through some cypress trees, almost a mile over to the other side of the lake. Her path is incredible. Now the water temperature, pay attention to the water temperature here. It's up near 60 now, 61. She makes her way past a little caney branch and back into the pocket where I'm at right now, and this water is 65 degrees. And the water is probably the right temperature. Are we to say that she weighed that 3.5 mile run to find 65-degree water? I'm not real sure, but she found it. I promise you, she's back there in those cypress trees. Check this out. Listen for the ping. There she is. Right over there, probably looking for a boyfriend, Zona.
No, pretty much when the boss says, believe me, I believe that bass is right there, my friend.
I'm with you on that. I know what's good for me. Hey, this bass needs to watch out. The last one at the last tournament got himself caught.
He'll end up at the weigh-in again.
All right, look out. Skeet Reese and the rookie Steve Kennedy, 2nd and 3rd to start the day, are going to get themselves going. Will either of them have enough to run down a guy with a 15-pound lead?
Right now, Preston Clark is chasing the record, but he has 11 sight fishing assassins on his tail.
Go Bassmaster Elite Series. This is our 3rd stop of our 2006 season, the Santee Cooper Showdown presented by Motor Guide. We're here in South Carolina, and we are experiencing something very, very special. The name on top of that leaderboard is Preston Clark. Take a look at it. He's already passed the magic 100-pound mark for 4 days of fishing. We started out with about 100 of the best anglers in the world. They fished for 3 days. We're now down to 12 on this final day. The record for 4 days of fishing, Dean Rojas, back in 2001, set it. 108 pounds and 12 ounces. A lot of fishing time left to go, and Preston Clark has an excellent shot at rewriting the record books today. We find him now poling around looking for these spawning fish, and we're ready to get started on assaulting that record.
7 more pounds, 7 more pounds. 7 for the record and 16 more for the big check at the end of the day.
Right now, Preston Clark's day is going exactly as planned. He right now is embarking on 120 pounds, which will annihilate the records, but more importantly, 100 grand.
100 grand because he and his wife are expecting triplets coming up in the fall. He's already planning to designate $8,000 for each one of those triplets to that Florida program that lets you prepay a college education.
It's another one we're gonna call that one. She's close to 3, but I'm gonna call her 2.5 to be safe. Look how small her mouth is and how big she's fat. God, it's a chunk. Thank you, Lord. All right, I needed 7. I got a 6, a 3, and a 2.5. A 3, a 2.5. That's 11 pounds. I need 16, 5 more pounds, baby. 5 more pounds. We're gonna get in the book again. Record book twice.
Preston was talking about his record catch at the Citgo Bassmaster Classic this year. He caught an 11-pound, 10-ounce bass. He's going to rewrite the book again.
All right, now to another guy who may be getting close to Tim Horton's record for a great rookie season. Steve Kennedy of Alabama may be in contention for Angler of the Year this year.
This guy's unbelievable right now. He's fishing against the best in the world. He is a rookie. The biggest thing I'm noticing is a 5-pound bass average for the week and may not have a shot at winning. That's got to mess with your head.
Steve Kennedy, of course, started the day in 3rd place with the other anglers moving up. Right now, he's in 4th, but he's got a good one on right now.
And one of the things you're going to notice right here, he's not fishing lily pads like some of the other leaders. He's fishing these cypress trees, and at the base of these trees, there's cypress knees. It makes a hard bottom. So one thing I'm going to pound in this show, these fish spawn on hard bottoms.
Steve Kennedy, of course, the rookie. We don't know so much about him. Is he one of these sight fishing, bed fishing specialists? Is he going to be able to continue to excel throughout the year?
Here's what I'm learning about Steve Kennedy. He's an all-around awesome angler, and right now you better watch him for Angler of the Year.
Well, he's right behind now Preston Clark. He's pulled ahead of Skeet Reese.
She's did it.
Oh.
You're killing me.
God. 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 God.
Why does sight fishing make a man create noises like that?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, it can be unbelievably frustrating. These bass don't get big just by mistake. What ends up happening is they start barking at your lure. That's a term used when you're sight fishing. It's almost when they're just kind of grabbing the back end or they're almost blowing soot at the bait just to push it out of the bed. You want the fish to commit to the bait. A lot of times they'll circle it, they're looking at it. When they commit, you're going to catch them. But like I said, it can be unbelievably frustrating if they will not lock in on the bait.
Come on. Skeet Reese just got passed by Steve Kennedy for 2nd place behind Preston Clark. Now Skeet Reese probably bumped. Well, he does. He's going to bump himself back into 2nd place with this one right here. But Skeet Reese, you got to manage your time here. How much time is he going to spend being frustrated?
If you sit on, you can actually sit on a fish too long. You could sit on a fish for an hour, maybe 2 hours, and never catch that bass. And that is a part of your day that's completely wasted.
That record that all these anglers are trying to assault today, 108 pounds, 12 ounces, belongs to a guy who's in our Elite 12 on this final day of competition. Dean Rojas will check in with Dean, see what he's up to. Preston Clark just 5 pounds back of that record. When will he break it? The Citgo Bassmaster Elite Series, our 3rd stop of the year, the Santee Cooper Showdown. We're in the state of South Carolina. The Santee Cooper reservoirs have provided big stringers of fish. They've gotten close to the records for all time for 4 days of fishing here at Santee Cooper before, but we are seeing something above and beyond anything we've ever seen before. Big fish moving up into the shallow spawning areas, and these guys are great at catching big fish, Mark Zone.
Preston Clark is only 5 pounds away from the record, but check this out, Sanders. This tournament is not over. Guys can still catch him.
That record, 108 pounds, 12 ounces, belongs to Dean Rojas. Dean Rojas, originally from the West, now making his home in the state of Texas. And Dean Rojas is in this Elite 12. He's trying to make it happen, but Preston Clark will be hard to catch.
She's a good fish. She's nothing great, but she goes about 4, I guess. Both the bucks are about 4 pounds apiece. I'll come back on them in a few minutes. Yeah, there's both of them. They're side by side.
This is what is so amazing about Preston Clark. Look how cool he is. He'll come up on these bass, he'll stabilize his boat, he'll get in perfect position to catch it, then he's gonna get his lure out, a little zoom crawdad, and go to work with. I can tell you right now, Sanders, I would be a disaster at this point.
So I got 2 bucks, maybe 3 pounds apiece on a bed. They weren't here yesterday. And there looks like a female that's 7 or 8 pounds. She just chased something off her bed. I saw a big wake. One of them did.
All right, a 5-pounder, and we rewrite the record books. Is this going to be the fish? Are we going to make some history right here?
Sanders, it doesn't look like it. I mean, right now, these are not the bass that Preston was catching throughout the week. I mean, he was culling these by 7:30 in the morning.
I'll call that one 3. I'm going to say the next fish is the one. As long as it's over 2 pounds. Thank you, Lord, thank you. All right. The next fish is the one. Shoot, I'm gonna have to take my shoes off. I'm so nervous. I got 4 fish. It's 8:32 in the morning. I'm not just gonna break his record, I'm gonna smash it. Today is perfect. Oh my goodness.
So, no, we got the new record book ready to go to the printers.
Yeah.
Now, this guy's not going to lock up and we're not going to get the record
No,
right.
I'm ready to say uncle right now and just give it to him. He's going to be done with it at 9 o'clock in the morning.
All right, well, you have done some great work. You have rounded up all the thingies that these guys have been throwing on these bass beds, and this is all over the place.
These are, I did a little reconnaissance as such.
did.
These are actually the baits the guys have been using to get to the top 12. And what I've learned right here, you could pretty much throw any soft plastic lure in a bed and entice a fish. It's all over the map right now. But the biggest thing I noticed is the size of the lures. If you look right here, this is Kelly Jordan's bait of choice, okay?
All right.
Little crawdad about the size of your pinky. The exact opposite, our friend Dean Rojas, he's using a tube about the size of your hand.
Both these guys are whacking them, but when will a Santee bass see a thing that size that looks like that?
That's like an experiment gone wrong right
That
there.
is bad.
And it's one of the things that I say, fish will bite baits out of anger instead of hunger when they're spawning. Right there, that's proof in the pudding.
All right, quickly on the color, we got a one that's light bulb white right here, yet they're catching them also on these almost green-black things.
They are. A lot of the guys will use the white ones for their benefit, not to entice the fish. He wants to visually see that bait on the bed where he can react to when it goes in the fish's mouth.
Let's take a look at the beds, our Citgo Bass Eye View. This is some incredible footage right here. We're going down under the water onto the bed and take a look at a bass guarding that bed, and we're going to try to catch it.
And if you notice the fish right there, you see the lure right behind him. You want that bait in the sweet spot. Every bed has about a 2 to 3 inch radius of where that fish will react to the bait. And one of the biggest things, like I said, they're not reacting out of hunger, it's more out of anger. It's getting in a zone where he feels the eggs are vulnerable.
All right, this can take, first cast, this could take all day, right?
Well, it could take all day, and that's why you always want, every fish has its own mood. If you notice right there, that fish is not reacting right now. You got to constantly move that bait to get a reaction bite out of him.
Incredible. He started chugging and flaring his fins.
Exactly.
You can tell when they're getting ready to go. Bink Desaro, we haven't seen Bink in a number of years. Back in 2004, in fact, came in second place, a heartbreaker to Denny Brower at Lake Eufaula.
We love Bink. I mean, he looks like my little brother, you know what I mean? Seriously, the cool thing about where Bink is fishing, you could really learn something here. If you see that lily pad field, that's what you want to look for when you go sight fishing. That is telling you there's a hard bottom there. Bass want to spawn on a hard bottom.
Great catch there, and just barely hooked. Hey, that's no bass right there.
Jerry is not out on the water right there. I don't need that.
They got gators in South Carolina,
I am not big on reptiles.
Here he is like Sir Galahad trying to defend his record. Looking pretty shaky now, though, for Dean Rojas, yet he's got a good one on right here.
Come on, honey. Come on, sweetheart. Come here. Oh. Come here. Come here, Jaws. Come here, Jaws. Yes. How you like them apples, baby? Woo! Yes. In the mouth. In the mouth. Yes. Beautiful.
That is Kermit, his buddy Kermit the Frog. Dean Rojas, though, moving up that leaderboard a little ways. Steve Kennedy and Skeet Reese giving chase to Preston Clark, and Aaron Martens has made the big move of the day.
Right now, the guy that needs to be watched is Aaron Martens. If you check him out right there, he is just hunting for 6 to 8 pounders, and it seems every time he pulls the trigger, he finds one.
It's the best.
Nothing better. Maybe, yeah, 4. This one's bigger though. Oh, come here, baby. Come on. Oh, it's a big one, dude. Yeah! Oh, I was watching Kelly catch his little 4-pounder and I got bit. Thanks, Kelly! He slowed me down. I was like, oh, yeah. Oh, I was over there at that spot. There she is. That's a big fish. That's a big one. That's like 7 in there. Oh, thank you for biting, fishy. Take care of you.
Sight fishing from 40 yards away, Mark Zone.
Man, that's amazing. If you looked at that, you have to have eyes of a hawk. What do you think of that, Sanders? A hawk.
Okay, we'll call him the Hawk from here on out. Aaron Martens jumps into 2nd place. He's just 5.5 pounds out of the lead. Can you believe it? Can Clark get this thing done, or will Martens overtake him? Somebody break this 4-day record.
Martens is a bird of prey right now.
Welcome back to the Santee Cooper Showdown, and it is a showdown between anglers for sure, but more importantly, a showdown between at least one of those anglers, Preston Clark, and the all-time record for 4 days of fishing with the Bassmasters, 108 pounds and 12 ounces. Preston Clark, just 2.5 pounds off of that record. But Aaron Martens moving up the leaderboard. Skeet, Reese giving chase as well. And how about the rest of our Elite 12 field here? Mike Wurm downsized his tackle on day number 3 and fished his way into this championship field.
And the bull, Greg Hackney. 3 tournaments in a row, he has made the Elite 12. But I'm going to tell you, he's a little uncharacteristic, sitting in 11th place right now.
John Cruz is having a fantastic year. 2 Elite 12s in a row. He just can't find a way to move up that leaderboard in a big way on those final days.
We got the Kentucky jockey, Kevin Wirth, and here's something that he was saying during the week. He was upset, Tommy Sanders, that he was only catching 20 to 28 pounds. Something you don't hear at a bass tournament.
No, you don't get a lot of sympathy for a complaint like that. Terry Scroggins, we got 2 anglers in this field of 12 from the town of Palatka, Florida. Something in the water down there makes these guys the best sight fishermen in the world.
And let's jump out to the man that is defending his Santee Cooper title, Kelly Jordon. Earlier today, he came out swinging. This guy caught almost 100 pounds of bass the last time we were there.
Kelly Jordon, great 10-year career that includes 3 wins. The most recent, that one here, back in 2004, a renowned sight fisherman.
Coming into this tournament, Kelly was probably the biggest favorite. The reason why, he knows the exact places these big bass spawn.
Kelly Jordon also fishing his 2nd top 12 in a row. Finished in 11th place down at Lake Sam Rayburn at the Lone Star Shootout.
That. There's a 5-pounder.
Again, that was earlier today. This happened a little bit later. Kelly Jordon back in action there. Those lily pads you referred to earlier.
Well, there's a lot of heavy cover there. Now check this out. He just broke his line. And you'll notice he gets in a hurry here. He sees his line floating on the top of the water. If you watch right here, you're even going to see the line moving right there.
Oh, man.
The line is moving, and there is a bass on the end of it.
Okay, this is legal. You can go grab your line even though you're not connected to it.
Well, it's legal, but it's a mess. This is an absolute disaster.
All right, that fish is still on there.
About a 5 to 6 pound. Oh no. Not right here, not fun to be KJ.
He did not have the drag set on his hands properly. That's what happened right there. Poor
awesome.
Kelly Jordon. Okay, one more time. If we had a Save of the Year award, Kelly was working on his acceptance speech right there, and then this happened.
Exactly. That's a big-time meltdown right there. It's kind of a buzzkill. But the one thing that you'll notice about Kelly right here, Tommy Sanders, he is one of the best in the game at sight fishing. He's going to put his head down, turn around, and catch another giant.
Stay on there, baby. Come on. Big, aren't you? Well, I hope you're good.
Kelly Jordon had 31 pounds, 15 ounces on day 1, 31 pounds, 10 ounces on day 2. If he could have replicated that, he would have started the day ahead of Preston Clark.
You know, it almost seems like he's from Santee Cooper instead of Lake Fork, Texas.
Maybe not that big. She's big, though. I think there's another big one in there. Yeah! Took it to the hill, look at that.
Good fish. That's going to move Kelly Jordon up that leaderboard. He started a ways back. Again, the third day, he went down to 14 pounds and 13 ounces. What might have been for Kelly Jordon is significant. And he's just right behind Preston Clark right now.
Here she comes. Right at the freaking slug out there. Let's turn again. See her tail.
Right now, there is a small fire burning with Aaron Martens, Sanders. He is gaining momentum by the minute.
Aaron Martens, last year he picked up the Angler of the Year, that tournament at Table Rock Lake in Missouri, where he finished in second place.
But you know what? He is starting to threaten our leader, Preston Clark.
You're not coming off, baby. Oh boy, we're getting there, buddy. That was exciting. Getting better. That's West Coast style right there. I love that. I wish there were all the spawning tournaments like this. I kind of messed up. I should have been moving more often. Man, it's too easy when you move. I've been stuck on fish too long. I need to just keep moving. That's so pretty. Bass Tricks gonna give me some new. I paid a lot of money for these, and they're gonna owe me some free ones after this show. That's secret stuff there. Man, it's good for Bass Tricks, bad for me. Secret baits.
Okay, maybe not quite a secret right now that we've passed this point in our broadcast.
Like totally, man. Let's talk about Aaron Martens almost catching the leader, Preston Clark. He has not caught those 6 to 8 pounders that got him to this point.
Preston Clark, now still trying to make that record, that 108.12. He's 2.5 pounds out of making that all-time 4 days of fishing record.
Oh, she's back. She's back already. This might be quick. This one's gonna be one that when she hits it, she's gonna come straight out at me. Let's get this thing over with right here.
Now, all of our weights are unofficial, but we've been getting very, very close all week long, and as near as we can make it, Preston Clark needs in excess of 2.5 pounds to break the record with this fish.
Yeah! Tommy, I do not think that fish will break the record, and more importantly, Aaron Martens is sneaking up on this man right here.
It's gonna be close. It's gonna be so close. Yeah, I think it's 2 pounds. That's not the fish I saw though. That's my limit, that's 5. God, that's gonna put me right on the record, right on it. That's too close to call by a few ounces. I'm not gonna say I got it yet. I'm gonna say I caught one fish, I got it. I'm not gonna say I got it yet. I don't have it yet.
Preston Clark needs but one fish to set the record. One fish he can cull with. We don't even want to think about the possibility that he does not catch a fish big enough to cull with today. How about the rest of our stories? Aaron Martens starting in 10th place today. So far back, he's moved all the way up into second place. Does he have what it takes to pull off possibly the most incredible upset in the history of the Bassmasters?
The 15th round is next.
We're back in South Carolina. The Citgo Bassmaster Elite Series Santee Cooper Showdown presented by Motor Guide. What a story we have here. One of the most prestigious records in all of bass fishing is the record for 4 days of fishing. 108 pounds and 12 ounces. That's held by Dean Rojas, but Preston Clark is less than half a pound away. If Preston Clark can basically catch one fish that's bigger than any other fish in his live well, he culls that fish, he takes over that record. We're watching that very, very closely. But also, Aaron Martens started the day in 10th place. He is charged all the way up into second place. How's he done it? He started to go on the move.
Aaron Martens is moving around fast. If he finds a bed right now that has a big bass on it that is not reacting the way he wants it, he will move on. He's covering water. When he sees a catchable bass, he will lock in, catch it quick, and move on.
Reaction strike. Yeah, baby. That's what I was talking about. She was waddling. She's a waddler. Big buckeye bass. I love these fish, dude. I want to come back here more often. Santee Cooper rocks. God, it's an awesome lake. Guys, fish are awesome. Incredible bass.
That one's awesome enough to move Aaron Martens within 1.5 pounds of Preston Clark. You don't want to think about it, but maybe there's some vulnerability on the part of Clark, who we thought was invincible when the day started.
Big. There's a giant. I mean, a giant.
Not so long ago today, it was Skeet Reese giving Preston Clark his best race. Now Aaron Martens has moved up. Kelly Jordon as well, but hey, Skeet may be onto something here.
You know, and he's also destroying the myth that you need to wear real drab colors when you're sight fishing. The guy loves yellow, but back in the day, you always used to hear guys saying, oh, you need to wear camouflage or light blue so you look like the sky. Guy looks like a bumblebee.
Hey, Skeet Reese looks like the opposite of a turkey hunter here, that is for sure. But aren't we seeing more stealth overall as far as the approach to sight fishing goes?
This guy knows exactly what he's doing. He is one of the best sight fishermen on the planet.
Skeet Reese, whose last win was back in 2003 on the Harris chain of lakes, one of the lowest winning weights ever in Bassmaster history. We may be looking at the highest winning weight ever right here.
That fish right there will get him right back in contention with Preston Clark.
Now, if he lands this fish, he is going to tie Preston Clark. We have to confront the possibility that Preston could give this thing away.
Right now, we are seeing quite possibly one of the biggest meltdowns in professional bass fishing history.
That makes a little bit of difference in the weight right there.
With 1 hour left in the tournament, Skeet Reese throws a bomb into the end zone and connects. Finally, somebody has caught Preston Clark.
All right, so Reese now tied with Clark. Back over to Aaron Martens. Aaron Martens has 31 pounds of fish. Do you know what that means? That means he's culling 5-pounders. He's got to find something bigger than 5 pounds if he wants to upgrade his weight. He's 1.5 pounds back of the leaders.
Oh, God, what was that? No. I'm freaked out right now. That was terrible. Couldn't tell what that was. I saw this thing jerk, like take off, and it's all boom. And I just hesitated a second. I could let go of it. She's on it again. She's not that big, but she's big. It's not as big as I thought, but she ate it. I'm like, so call a bass, that's for sure, dude. Come here, baby. Santee Cooper rocks again, dude. Whoa! That is awesome. She ate the Sligo. I knew that fish would eat the Sligo. You tell how she's going back and forth. That's pretty bass. That's my little one. That's the baby. I can't explain how much fun that is. You know, watching that fish go to the bait and all of a sudden it turns off and your line pulls, it's like, it's all heavy. It's not like a 2-pounder that comes in with you. They just stop you. I mean, rod just goes thump. All you can do is laugh, like, ha ha. Ha 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 ha.
Can it be? We have a 3-way tie now, and now begins the final push. The push for the record, the push for the win.
Preston Clark has been sitting on an 8-pounder for over an hour. If he catches this, it will change his life.
I don't see him. Yeah, they're there. She's nosing up on it too. Get out of the pads. Get out of the pads. Yeah! Now it's mine.
It may be the most prestigious record in all of bass fishing, the 4-day tournament total. Preston Clark, we waited for you a long time today, but you just got it done.
One of the most incredible tournaments we have ever witnessed in the sport.
Preston Clark comes into this thing with a chance at breaking that all-time record, with a chance at winning $100,000 for this man who made a midlife change, took up the sport of bass fishing professionally, and now knows he's got triplets on the way. Later this year, he needs $100 grand. He wanted the record. Now it looks like he's got everything. We got the weigh-in coming up. Don't go away.
It's mine now.
The Citgo Bassmaster Elite Series Santee Cooper Showdown is presented by Motor Guide and is brought to you by Citgo. Motor Guide. Lowrance. And Mercury Marine.
We're back at the Santee Cooper Showdown here in South Carolina. It is weigh-in time, and everyone, of course, gathered expecting to see something in the way of a record from Preston Clark, including his family. Jerry's with his wife, Katrina, in the crowd right now, and Jerry, I think we're ready to go.
Tommy, I think that I heard you. Katrina, yes, is next to me here in the whole town of Palatka, Florida. Katrina, how are you feeling?
Feeling nervous today, very nervous for Preston.
How come?
This is going to be huge for him.
We're pulling for you. I want to know all about the family you're expecting in October.
Yes, sir, October 9th. We're expecting triplets. We've got one girl, possibly two, and we don't know about the third.
Boy, that is fantastic. Tommy, get this thing going.
We are all set and ready for the weigh-in. Aaron Martens, the 2005 Citgo Angler of the Year. You saw the kind of day he had. Will he have the 33 pounds and 3 ounces he needs to catch the record, to catch Dean Rojas?
32 pounds and 10 ounces.
And he's just shy 32 pounds and 10 ounces, 108 and 4 ounces for Aaron Martens. He takes the hot seat. And Kelly Jordon, the winner here in 2004, well, he can't unseat Aaron Martens either. 24 pounds and 13 ounces as Greg Hackney's trying to put together 2 in a row. He comes to the weigh-in stand.
13 pounds and 6 ounces. In fact, looks like your leanest day of the week out here.
Aaron Martens has survived more than half the field now. 12 anglers in this Elite Series final, 2 of them from the little town of Palatka, Florida. One of them is Terry Big Show Scroggins, has had a great tournament so far. But only 19-13, so Martens hanging on to that lead, yet through another angler. Kevin Wirth of Kentucky, super solid throughout this tournament. Again, another short weight today, 18 pounds, 7 ounces, and Aaron Martens hanging on to that hot seat. Steve Kennedy, the amazing rookie, the Toyota Rookie of the Year leader, certainly contending as well for Angler of the Year. Wanted to take the lead, but most definitely wanted over 17 pounds to get himself over the century mark. He does that easily with 21-2. But Aaron Martens still hanging in there. Aaron watches as another West Coast angler, Skeet Reese, whose last win was in 2003, bounds up to the weigh-in stand. He needs 25 pounds or more to unseat Aaron Martens, and he just falls 4 ounces short of the lead, 108 pounds for Skeet Reese. Preston Clark, in his rookie season last year, he created some sparks, but boy, has he really created them. This week at Santee Cooper, he needs 16 pounds, 3 ounces to set the new record for 4 days of fishing with the Bassmasters and unseat Aaron Martens, take his first win.
15-11 for the win, 16-3 for the record. 23 pounds, 5 ounces.
Preston Clark, he's got the new record for 4 days of fishing with the Bassmasters. He wins $100,000. He's the champion of the Santee Cooper Showdown.
Digits, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm a loss for words. The record and the win mean everything to me. The money, my wife only gonna give me $20. You know, all last year I fished, and not one time I caught small limits every tournament. Not once could I come in and say, you know, this tournament I whacked them. Well, you know what? This tournament I whacked them.
Absolutely unbelievable, Sanders. I did not think this record would get busted in South Carolina. Proved me and a lot of the fishing world wrong.
Yeah, everybody in the world was surprised by that one, but what an incredible week. Look at that final leaderboard. Preston Clark busting the record there. We got 5 guys over 100 pounds. Who would have ever thought that from Santee?
Unbelievable tournament. I'm going to tell you something. One of the coolest things in this whole event, Preston Clark, one of the classiest guys I've met in a long time. He said he wanted to be the best fisherman in the country for 1 week. And he said, Zona, you know what? I'm a little disappointed Kevin Van Dam was not in this. Well, you know what? He still was the best fisherman in the country this week.
All right, how about down in 11th place, Greg Hackney? That's his worst finish of the year. How about that?
That guy's out of control right now. Definitely commanding the Angler of the Year race.
Take a look at that Angler of the Year leaderboard right there. Of course, Hackney on top. Kevin Van Dam drops all the way down to 34th place. Alton Jones, by virtue of his disqualification, all the way down to 79th place. We got Dean Rojas in a hard second.
Pure leader Big Bass. How about Conrad Piku coming to the party with a 10-pounder this week?
The Toyota Rookie of the Year race is all about Mr. Steve Kennedy. What a year he is having here. Will anyone be able to catch him?
Oh, and the legend, the Toyota Horizon Award right now would go to Denny Brower, almost moving up 100 spots all the way up into 15th place right now.
And of course, from a tournament like this, we have 4 big entries into the Bush Shootout for the year-end thing right there. What a day it's been. I have to say a special congratulations to Tom Frink, who was our co-angler champion. Tom Frink from California. A great job from the back of the boat.
Yeah, let's shut her down, Sanders. That's
no.
no.
We got to go fantasy. We're going fantasy. We have to take a look at those fantasy results there. How about our guy, Jerry McInnes, not here to soak up the glory of being on top?
I give him credit.
I'm close second there, and, well, you're in third place.
You know what I am? I'm
that?
like a grass carp. I'm just sucking the bottom of the lake right now.
They want to preview a little bit Gunnersville. Give me your picks for Gunnersville.
You know what?
One pick.
If there's somebody at home right now, John Cruz does not cost you a lot of points, right? And he's getting huge weights lately. He's on fire.
All right, my dilemma, whether or not to put Kevin Van Dam back on my team. I got to pay a lot more to get Kevin Van Dam now.
Oh, he's coming back with vengeance. But our guy McInnes said, guys, I'm going to give you my dark horse pick, Greg Hackney.
All right.
Yeah, not that original.
No, not shaking up the world. But we will shake up the world maybe again when we see you at Gunnersville. They're on the Tennessee River next time on the Citgo Bassmaster Tournament Trail. Shaking up the world.
You're on fire there.
Yes. How you like them apples, baby? Woo! 6.5, 7. Oh, yeah.
This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to Bassmaster.com.
It's mine now.
Ha 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 ha.